All right, 1 year later with the Ford Bronco. So I'm coming up on a year of ownership. I'm doing my second oil change. Only have about 4,500 miles on this. Drain plug, super easy. Take skid plate off. It's right there, no problem. My only issue with this car, with this SUV, only issue after a year of ownership, the location of this oil filter. What a joke. I mean, that's just a travesty. There's no way to get at it from the bottom. They install like an oil filter drain valley. So you essentially need a second pan to collect oil because you're going to release some more from the pan when you undo the filter. You have to turn your wheel all the way to the right, undo this clip, pull the felt, and look at where that is. It's not even easy once you get this felt off. You got brake lines in the way. I mean, I love this SUV, but that's a joke. You got your steering rack in the way. Look at all this space in this bay. You're telling me that's the best we could do? Unreal. They literally installed a valley where you kind of need like a second oil pan. You see, I got just whatever I could find because you're going to release a little more oil from the drain plug. So you kind of need something there. So you really need two pans. See, there's no way you're getting up there from the bottom. All right, I find that my path of least resistance is to put the oil filter wrench socket on first. Then put your adapters on to length. Make sure when you're unscrewing this, you're not too hard on these brake lines. You can see how if you aim your second pan right, it'll leak right into it. Also, not pumped about how dark that oil looks after just 3,000 miles. Again, second oil change, 4,500 miles. All right, new filter on. I usually go 3/4 of a turn after first contact with the gasket. So my black Sharpie line there was at noon, 12 o'clock. Now it's about at 9. That's what I've done on my other vehicles, but that ends up being just a little more than as tight as you can get with your hand. This is how the oil looked after just 3,000 miles. Pretty dark. The floaties in there are just road salts from me wiping off the underside. And a little paper towel maybe. But yeah, pretty dark for 3,000 miles, I think. It kind of tells me the interval should be 3,000 until the oil tells me different. Alright, I like to track how much yield I get off of the old oil just to see if I'm burning anything or not. So this is 4 quart, so that's about, I mean, that's got to be about the 5 quart. I didn't see exactly, but I know this was not brimmed when it was unopened. So I got to think that's about 5. That's pretty close to a full quart. So by the time, you have a little losses filter with the oil change, I think I will chalk that up as no oil burned. So that's a pro. We like that. We like that. Make sure you recycle your oil. Don't give non-car people a reason to hate us car people. All right, this is the oil drain plug. No gasket or nonsense. One silver lining of this oil change. It has that permanent gasket in there. Just wipe it off. I'll put that back in. And then for a funnel, I picked up, I think this was like 10 bucks, this oil funnel that screws right into the oil fill cap, and that's secure, so you can two-hand the 5-quart. We're going 6 quarts, 5W30. I've got running full synthetic, so we'll do 5 quarts off the Kirkland, and then I picked up just an additional quart, 5W30 full synthetic. So I think the manual says 5.7, but there's like a bulletin affirming 6 quarts, and I affirmed that with my first oil change. So we'll get this plugged up, cleaned up, started. Another benefit of having that screw-in funnel is you can let the oil chill for a minute while it drips. Same deal with the 5-quart. All right, the last key for the oil change, if you have the manual transmission, is don't hit the brake, but you want to fill that oil filter. And you do that, it's like a no fire. You clutch, gas, start. You see it's not turning over, it's just filling oil, circulating oil. So now you've pushed the oil through. So now I'm gonna check real quick under it, fire it up, make sure we have no leaks, and then we're done. All right, we're running. No leaks from the filter. No leaks from the plug. We're good to go. Put the skid plate on and we're done. All right, to reset the oil life, go to the on position, scroll down in the main menu to settings, go 2 down to oil life, and then we're gonna hold OK to reset our oil life. So my fender liner clip, which goes right there, factory one, obviously pretty tired, plastic threads. I had some of these replacement ones I had off a kit laying around on the right here, so I just replaced it with one of those. But probably a better solution is like either a plastic wing nut, because you just reach around and grab it from the back. So maybe I'll pick up one of those for next time. Check the oil level, smack dab in between the dots on the indicator dipstick. I like this oil filter wrench. Yeah, it's like the Motivex. Got it off Amazon. Just have it in, save the box so I know which one to buy and order. The extension that I use, I'm probably gonna get a longer one. I think this one's like a 6-inch. Yeah, and I just keep all this crap together. Label it Bronco. Back in there, so it's there when I need it. Yeah, thanks for tuning in. Again, love the vehicle. This is the only con I've noted in a year of ownership. Everything else that I find people note as a con or a negative is directly related to the reason you bought the Bronco. You don't like fuel economy, you bought a poorly aerodynamic SUV. You don't like the wind noise, you can take the doors off and the roof off. You knew that when you were buying it. So everything else I've loved. Oil change, that's just, that filter location is unforgivable. But regardless, I'll get quicker with it as time goes. And yeah, that's that. Let me know what your thoughts are. Again, loving the vehicle. Second oil change done, 4,500 miles. No oil burn, but oil did look pretty dark. I guess that's pretty standard. I was hoping it'd look a little bit cleaner, but it is what it is. Loving the vehicle. Thanks for tuning in. Stay tuned for next time. We do have some stuff coming. I got the Roush exhaust I'm going to install once the weather gets a little warmer. There is a roof rack up there. I've got a rear sway bar that I'm going to install when the weather gets nicer. I'm just putting a coat of paint on it. It's the Beltec one. Obviously, doing an oil change in The winter is never any fun, but even less fun when you have a really difficult filter location. But regardless, we got it done. Stay tuned. See you next time.